Jonathan Elias, welcome to the 7 on Your Side special. You know, each week ABC 7 brings you a rundown of our best investigative and consumer reporting. We're going to start with this. For 3 decades, the criminal gang MS-13 has spread from Los Angeles to strongholds all over the globe. Its headquarters for the East Coast just happens to be right here in Virginia. That's where in just the last year, the gang-related murder rate is up 166%. Our senior investigative reporter, Lisa Fletcher, tracked the activity of the gang from here to Long Island, where federal investigators now are upping the ante to bring down MS-13.
They have no boundaries. They are not afraid to kill kids, parents, cousins. They are not afraid. As long as they send the message they are sending, they are not afraid to do what they have to do.
In a rare interview with a former MS-13 gang member, we got a glimpse inside one of the most feared crime syndicates in the U.S.
Does the gang believe the devil manifests himself within them?
Yes, very highly.
And the way they're fortifying their ranks will shock you.
The younger, the better for them.
MS-13 began more than 30 years ago.
It started off in the West Coast and it spread throughout the country like a wildfire.
Angel Melendez is the special agent in charge of Homeland Security investigations for New York City. He gave us unprecedented access to this 24/7 command and control center on Long Island, dedicated to dismantling MS-13.
This report is for the girlfriend.
In a 10-week period, his team arrested 72 people associated with MS-13, all of whom were illegally in the United States. 30% of them arrived as unaccompanied minors, kids who crossed the U.S. border without parents or guardians. And that's an accident. Melendez says one of the gang's little-known tactics is to recruit unaccompanied minors.
They come into a country that they don't know. They don't have the appropriate support network. Culture and language is not familiar to them, and they become vulnerable. MS-13 has a powerful marketing strategy in which they're offering a family to these children.
Former gang members tell us they specifically target kids to do their dirty work.
They recruit young minors because young minors, how they get recruited and they commit a crime, they will be released because they are minors.
The unaccompanied minor issue is a big issue in this area.
Jay Lanham runs the Northern Virginia Gang Task Force.
A lot of the suspects we arrested in those murders back in February and March, a lot of those were juveniles. And a lot of them were, at one time, were unaccompanied minors.
Minors who were supposed to be supervised by the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the government agency assigned to place and protect those kids.
Senator Grassley, do you see a connection between the rise in MS-13 and the lack of oversight on the part of the government of these unaccompanied minors?
I think the rise of this activity and the rise of unaccompanied children is very closely connected with the government not doing its job.
This summer, Senator Chuck Grassley held a Senate committee hearing to address the growth of MS-13. Customs and Border Patrol testified that more than a third of unaccompanied minors taken into custody since 2011 with suspected gang affiliations were believed to be associated with MS-13. This year, the Office of Refugee Resettlement requested more than $1.3 billion in tax dollars specifically for unaccompanied minors.
Is taxpayer money being well spent on this resettlement program?
It's not being handled well because we find too large of a number of these kids ending up in that environment. Gang activity.
Activity that agents say goes far beyond the bounds of traditional gangs.
We've seen in the last year alone numerous cases regarding satanic rituals and murder, the murder of young children.
Does the gang call on Satan?
They play with the Ouija board, depends. They speak with the devil if they need to. He'll give you anything you want to know, but also you have to give him a soul.
In the last year, federal agents say MS-13 has been responsible for dozens of deaths in the U.S. And while most of the violence is gang on gang, they say the induction of children into the lifestyle is creating younger, more violent criminals. Lisa Fletcher, ABC 7 News.